How is it so easy for terrorists to get into Canada? We may just have found out why. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. A lot of things happened last week. On Wednesday, Pierre questioned Justin Trudeau on just how terrorists managed to get into Canada. Let's hear what he had to say.
In 2015, Ahmed Faoud Mustafa El-Didi appeared in an ISIS torture video dismembering a human body on a crucifix. Yet in 2018, this NDP Liberal government let him in, later giving him citizenship, only to find from French authorities that he was plotting a massive terrorist attack on people living in the Toronto area. Also, this last several weeks, we learned that another potential terrorist gained access as under a student visa to plan an attack on New York City Jews. Why won't the Prime Minister reverse the damage he's done to our borders, secure our country, and stop the terrorism?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if the Leader of the Opposition was genuinely serious in his concern for national security, he would choose to get the top-secret clearance that we have offered him instead of putting forward this little performance. We, on this side of this House, don't play politics with national security.
Let's face it, Justin Trudeau doesn't do national security. He wouldn't know where to start. Let's go to committee and see just what went on there and if we got any answers from Marc Miller.
With regards to Ahmed El-Didi, his initial temporary resident visa application was refused, not for security reasons, as no risk indicators were identified during the initial assessment. Rather, he was deemed a potential non-genuine visitor over concerns he wouldn't leave Canada at the end of his authorized stay. When he applied again, his application was approved after the officer was satisfied he intended to visit Canada. Risk indicators that were flagged along his immigration journey, from his asylum claim to his applications for permanent residency and citizenship, were referred to security partners. A favorable recommendation, as you heard a few weeks ago, was returned each time. No issues were found by the officers that made him inadmissible.
Thank you, Minister, for being here, and thank you for your opening kind words. I appreciate that. As we know, we have a very serious situation on our hands, Minister. That's the reason that you are here. Your government has allowed 3 alleged terrorists into our country through the immigration streams that came ultimately from what we've learned from the RCMP through Globe and Mail reporting, came within hours of murdering an untold number of innocent people, Canadians and Americans, in the latest alleged terrorists that's been gained entry into Canada under immigration streams under your watch, sir. And unfortunately, though it's been several weeks since the first 2 and a few days since, or a few weeks since the second iteration, we've yet to find out how this has happened. And to my knowledge, you've made no commitment of how you're going to fix it and prevent it from happening again. What we do know and understand is that your government in the past has directed public servants to fast-track immigration procedures, to cut some corners, bring in people as quickly as possible. And now we have a situation where we have 3 alleged terrorists on our hands, so it is reasonable to believe there could be more. So what specific steps have you taken the past few weeks to ensure no more alleged terrorists can gain entry to Canada through our immigration streams?
As you know, there are a number of elements about this case that I cannot discuss publicly. I would also not assume a number of facts that are not in evidence currently, but again, we take these incidents very, very seriously. I announced in the French portion of my speech that we should come up with a result of our internal investigation within the next 2 weeks. Again, those will be made public. I think the discussion here is to see if and when there was any deficiency, if there was one, whether it is one that is systematic, and then how you then remedy that. What we will disclose to you in the next 2 weeks, obviously we can't disclose today, the investigation is not complete.
So just to
but
confirm, though, you haven't
to
taken any measures to change any procedures whatsoever? Nothing has changed?
As I've said to you, we're currently investigating if and when there were any deficiencies and what measures need to be taken.
With my knowledge,
I'm pretty sure she was speaking English there, and I'm pretty sure he understands English. So how did he not understand the question? The question was not about the specific case. The question was, have they reviewed, have they changed any of their procedures following this incident to make sure that it doesn't happen again?
Thank you, I appreciate that. With my knowledge of immigration, the procedures are already known. In fact, your department has provided a list of how the procedures are undertaken. So to me, it's very clear, if you can follow the trail over the last number of years, you should be able to determine how it is, for example, that the fact that we weren't able to determine there was a 2015 ISIS video where one of the alleged terrorists was dismembering a prisoner back in 2015 that was circulating the internet, and yet 3 years later he gained entry into Canada, and in fact went through 6 different immigration streams since that time and ultimately gained Canadian citizenship. And in that time, there were 4 red flags flagged for that individual. 3 of them were risk indicators. Obviously, none of them were taken seriously, or not to the extent that he was not allowed to continue down the immigration streams. What I did find interesting, though, Minister, is that in 2018, your government removed the requirement for police background checks, or officially called police clearance certificates, from the country of origin, from countries like Pakistan, and Pakistan ultimately is a bit of a high-risk country, to say the least, so it is puzzling that that was done in 2018. This security check was removed, and now we know a student visa from Pakistan gained entry into Canada. Have you reinstated this security requirement, for example? That is an easy step that you could have taken by now.
Again, currently, you know that this individual was an asylum seeker. You know, again, that there are differences with respect to different requirements for and the reliability of police certificates at different stages. They vary in their quality.
Sorry, I may have
and they
misspoke,
play
but I'm
into
talking
our
about
risk
the
assessment.
student visa from Pakistan, the latest alleged terrorist, not the son, but the student visa from Pakistan.
Again, and this may be within or not within the scope of this discussion, Mr. Chair. Again, the person, the latest alleged individual, came in as a student from Pakistan.
Correct.
Again, the details that you have in your chronologies are the ones that I'm at liberty to speak to at this time.
So once again, she's talking about a procedural issue. She's asking a question about procedure. Has that procedure been reestablished? And he doesn't answer that. He falls back on, oh, this is before the courts. I can't disclose any other information. That's not what she's asking. She's not asking for specifics. She's asking a procedural question. I don't understand how he doesn't get that.
Thank you, Minister. But I'm asking specifically about how in 2018 your government removed the requirement for police clearance certificates, ultimately police background checks from the country of origin, from countries like Pakistan. Now we have a student visa holder from Pakistan who did not receive the police, assuming he did not receive the police clearance certificate, unless you can correct me, but that requirement was removed in 2018. So there was a security check removed. That requirement was removed in 2018 from Pakistan for student visa holders. Now we have a situation where your government's brought in a student visa holder from Pakistan who's alleged to be a terrorist. He was on his way to Brooklyn, New York, to massacre Jews. And there was a situation where there could have been an additional level of screening that your government removed in 2018. So have you reinstated the security requirement? I'm hearing that you have not done that. I do feel that that's something quite easy that you could do that could provide another layer of security so this doesn't happen again.
Again, we rely on
Is that not reasonable?
We rely on our security partners to advise us as to the risk profile to take with respect to these
It's just a common sense
individuals.
approach, though, is it not?
Again, you're assuming the reliability and the validity of police certificates.
This is a very important point, and he will touch on this several times during his testimony. The reliability and validity of police certificates. Essentially, they're saying that these certificates from Pakistan are not reliable. We are allowing people in from countries where we cannot do sufficient background checks. And since we cannot do sufficient background checks, maybe we shouldn't allow people to enter from those countries. It's a matter of survival for us. It's a matter of national security. It's a matter of protecting our citizens. It has nothing to do with discrimination. It's a matter of protection. Doesn't make any sense to me that we still allow people in from countries that we cannot do proper security clearances from.
On permanent residents, are they required for police security checks from Pakistan, yes or no?
As a matter of course, yes.
Yes, they are. Okay.
And now Melissa Lantsman will question the minister, and things get a little bit tense.
Ms. Lantsman, please, 5 minutes.
Thanks for being here, Minister. Since our last meeting, another ISIS terrorist was arrested. A plot was foiled. You mentioned, you alluded to that in your opening commentary with Mr. Khan. You previously told Canadians that that there was criminal background checks for temporary residents. There's actually no requirement for a police certificate. So I'm going to go back to that because you were very unclear. In 2018, the government removed, means it doesn't require the police background checks. That's police clearance certificates from some countries of origin. In the case that we're talking about, Pakistan is included in that, and it turns out that the student that your incompetent predecessor gave a visa to is part of that. You removed the security checks. Your government removed the security checks. Now, you know that this guy was arrested. You know that a terrorist plot was foiled with the help of U.S. intelligence. You know that he was off to Brooklyn to kill Jews. Have you removed or have you reinstated that requirement for security checks that you previously told Canadians that were in place?
Again, Mr. Chair, through you, I don't want to, in answer, give the impression that I'm validating a number of the facts that I cannot, or alleged facts that I cannot speak about publicly. I think my question to you, MP Lantsman, is should we assume that were police certificates to have been attained, we would have apprehended this individual? We are confident in the way our biometric system works, in the progressive screening that operates in our country. And I think we should disabuse ourselves of the notion that Canada is hermetically sealed, and but for one procedure, we would have stopped something. It's highly theoretical. It's quite speculative.
It's actually not, Minister. I'm going to jump in because you require those police certificates for permanent residents. Now, whether you know that or not, that's a fact and it's the case. So why wouldn't you require them for student visas? This is how this guy got in. You can ask your predecessor, Sean Fraser. He let him in. And I know that you're cleaning up a mess. And I know that you're cleaning up a mess where I think this government has ruined a generational consensus on immigration. But why do you take them for permanent residence and not student visas? Why is there a different security check if this is the terrorist plot that was foiled under this guy?
Not everyone that comes to this country is entitled to become a permanent resident of Canada or indeed a citizen. We take a progressive risk assessment approach. The approach works. I'm not saying it's perfect. And again, you're assuming a lot of facts that are not in evidence to draw a conclusion that may not have been.
What are you talking about? There was an arrest made for an ISIS plot of a terrorist that was about to kill people. The Minister of Public Safety, during the last time that happened, which was just weeks before that arrest, another 2 people were arrested. Guy was in an ISIS snuff video. He went through 6 different channels of immigration, 4 flags. He was checked 6 times by this country, and he was given a citizenship. Like, what on earth are you talking about? This is 2 terrorists. How can you assure Canadians that there are no more if you don't understand your own department?
So Minister Marc Miller goes on to say that police certificates are not necessarily going to show up anything negative and that they're fairly unreliable, especially from countries such as Pakistan. And he goes on to defend the fact that they don't have them, and he doesn't think that they would have helped in this particular case. But the thing is, they weren't asking necessarily about this specific case. They were using this case as an example, and they were asking about procedures. And for whatever reason, he decides not to answer that. So I think we have the answer to our question. These people got into Canada because the Canadian system is inept. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think. Put your comments down below. And while you're at it, please like this video, share with your friends and on social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to click that notification button so you are notified every time I put up a video. Oh, and by the way, I do have a live stream every Thursday at 6 p.m. Please feel free to join in and contribute to the conversation. And one more thing, in the description of this video, there are links to all of my social media, including a link to my website, where you can sign up to take the Canadian Firearm Safety course. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.